and eyes light up. And here in Donegal, we get the ultimate entry from the spectacular drivers who love to do their rallying sideways. RPM's third programme from the Topaz Donegal International Rally concentrates on their competition.
The Donegal event has been called the Modified Grand Prix of Irish Rallying, and once again the Sideways Circus has gathered an outstanding entry, with last year's national winner Daniel McKenna providing the froth at the top of a very full cup.
The cream of the crops here this weekend. Like if you can beat men up here, you can beat them anywhere. That's usually the way it goes. So we're going to try our best to see, but it's going to be a tough competition now with all the top escort men, you know.
David Bogie is back to beat the escorts in the fast but fragile Metro. Why is it that you prefer this car in this particular rally?
It's just the whole Donegal thing, you know, to be in a modified car in Donegal with the amount of spectators in these stages. It's just a hell of an experience.
Long rally reliability is a big question mark.
Reliability is going to be the big question mark, but you know, we've just got to try and be kind in the car and make it go the distance, and you know, hopefully this year we can get to the end.
Declan and Brian Boyle are the top Donegal seeds.
It's going to be a tough battle for us this weekend as well, against Daniel and Wesley and Manus and all these boys, Frank Kelly, the whole lot, Brian Brogan. It's going to be a tough battle, but it's 3 long days and we have to try and keep it sensible, and hopefully we'll be all here on Sunday evening.
Manus Kelly leaves the Letterkenny start in a rented Mark II escort. And the full of the rack Mark II men are the full-on favourites for many in the northwest. And Daniel McKenna never disappoints. The young Monaghan driver is fastest on stages 1 and 2 and leads by 13 seconds after stage 3. It's short-lived, however, as a back axle failure forces his retirement on stage 4. Next up should have been David Bogie, but it's Declan Boyle. The Glenties Gladiator makes an excellent start, and he takes over the lead after McKenna's retirement. Indeed, by the end of the day's 8 stages, Declan will hold an impressive 33-second national rally lead. Frank Kelly is now a force to be reckoned with on tarmac after winning the recent Mark II Challenge in Carlow. His co-driver, Liam Brennan, enthusiastically reads the pace notes on stage 1. Like Declan Boyle, Frank makes a great start, and he's joint fastest with the local man. But sadly, this Donegal will be a very short outing for fearless Frank.
Fast 2 right here, go 200 over bumps, go 200 now over these bumps, all the way down here now to a 2 left long, then go 100 to a 5 left. 2 left is long, 100 out of it now to a 5 left.
Their engine expires after stage 2, and 2 of the mightiest Mark II men are out of the rally almost before they've even had time to settle in. However, fortune is favouring Manus Kelly, who is using Gary McPhillips' Mark II this weekend. After a steady start back in 6th after 3 stages, Manus stiffens the suspension and immediately climbs up to 2nd. Wesley Patterson and Marty McCarthy are 4th in this fierce national race. But their rally has not been without its drama. On stage 4 they have survived a big spin, and the Lisburn driver, who does all his own preparation work, checks the tracking at service.
Wesley just making a few checks.
Aye, we had a good slap there, not first stage out of service the last time. So in fairness, we're lucky to even be here. Thought the wheel was off her altogether, so just got her tracked up there and in a bit of shape now for hopefully these next 2, and then see if we can get a bit more work done on it in the morning, you know.
Now another main player is in trouble. Brian Brogan grinds to a halt for nearly 3 minutes as Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan pass in their escort. This is classic on the edge motoring from the Tyrone driver, who will end the Friday stages in 6th place, but only 6 seconds behind the 4th place crew. Martin McGee promised a gentle start in the hope of ending his run of bad fortune in his home international, but that didn't look too gentle to me. He's just 4.8 seconds behind the 3rd place driver. At last we see Bogie. A problem delayed the Metro before the start of stage 1, and it cost some time on stage 2. Here on stage 3, however, he's fastest as he heads for the first Buncrana service in 2nd.
We had a good run through the last stage there, but in the first 2 stages we had trouble with a fuel problem, so we've chased it back to a relay now, which we're going to sort, and hopefully that'll make things better.
Scotsman's luck is out once again this year as he limps through stage 6, missing a right rear wheel and into retirement. Last year's Irish Tarmac Modified champion Jeffrey Dolan ends the day in 12th. Paul Barrett and John McElhinney are 8th after the Friday tests. Former WRC crew Condona's Daniel and Michael Doherty have transferred to Mark II power and end the day a fine 9th. Robbie Peoples has had 24 starts and just 3 non-finishes, and he's in 13th. Isle of Mull resident Callum Duffy is really flying and ends the leg in 3rd place, his best showing by far in this event. Ed O'Callaghan is a late entry in his 2-litre Escort with local co-driver Renham Scott, and he belies his Donegal novice status by ending the day in 5th and 1st in his class. Cavan's Russell Woods is all locked up and in 10th overall and 2nd in class to O'Callaghan. Vivian Hamill is a place down on Woods, whilst Jim McKenna gets lost in the vast metropolis of Buncrana. And it's tail out all the way on the Inishowen Peninsula as the first 8 stages are ticked off on the first day for the national rally leaders. Callum Duffy is 3rd overnight, while Manus Kelly in 2nd has really got the hang of this unfamiliar machine.
We had a very slow start this morning, Plum. I haven't been in the car for a while. The car was very soft and we struggled, we suffered, lost a lot of time this morning the first few stages, but the car right now and we're starting to slowly build up the pace.
But Declan and Brian Boyle are the pace setters.
Nicely in the modified, I think we're 34 seconds up there now in Manus Kelly. So unfortunately David Bogie went out there on the last stage and Daniel went out in stage 4. But we were swapping times there with David for a while, and we've a nice wee lead now going into tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 8 stages lie ahead, including 2 runs over the classic Knockalla and Fanad tests. But it's not classic Donegal rally weather as the crews wake up to heavy downpours on Saturday morning.
It's going to be a tough challenge for Declan Boyle as he tries to keep his Mark II in the limelight. He must fight the conditions in his powerful 2.5 Escort if he wants to maintain the lead. After 4 stages on day 2, that lead has been reduced by 5 seconds to 29 seconds. The man putting the pressure on is Manus Kelly, who really flies on the second Garden Lake test. This is developing into a brilliant battle between the 2 Donegal drivers. Scotland's Callum Duffy drops from 3rd to 5th on the opening 2 stages of the day, having fitted the wrong rubber. A change of tyres will improve things. Still, he's enjoying his annual Donegal visit.
I love this rally, very, very competitive. Probably the most competitive rally that I know, with Mark II certainly anyway, so it's a good place to test yourself.
Martin McGee climbs up to 3rd this morning, and he's having a trouble-free run. The only scare coming on stage 12 at Garden.
We nearly weren't driving at all. We had a massive moment in that last stage there. 3 left over a crest. I just got a wee bit confused where I was. I thought it was further down the road, and it was just as close as I want to be. But the car's going well, everything's working well, so we're happy enough.
Ed O'Callaghan is now 4th, just 25 seconds behind McGee. A fine performance on strange territory and in a 2-litre car. But if you want a hairy run, climb aboard the green machine.
Go, 200. 6 right at the time.
That was a close one. Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan have got away with that one on the opening Grove Hall test, which has already claimed Wesley Patterson in spectacular fashion. But there's more to come.
In you go.
This overshoot, followed by a jammed starter motor, will cost Adrian 3 minutes and 13 places. They've dropped from 6th to 19th, but they don't give up easily, and by midway through the day, they're already back up into the top 10, with some fully committed driving in the rain.
In you go, you have it. Lift, 200.
Paul Barrett, a long-time practitioner of the tail-out technique. The Oma driver is now 6th as he hangs the rear wheels in the ditches of the byroads that skirt the Fern and Gorton Lakes. But Daniel and Michael Doherty's fine run ends dramatically on stage 9 as Paul O'Donnell captures. Thankfully, they're okay, and so are Wesley Patterson and Marty McGarity, who also crashed out heavily in this stage. The dramas continue in this wet morning as 10th place Russell Woods grinds to a halt on stage 10, losing several minutes. He eventually gets going again. Vivian Hamill, who was up to 11th, is about to join the lengthening retirement list. And Jeffrey Dolan claims his spot in the Scaftex Escort. While just 4 seconds behind him is that Donegal perennial, Robbie Peoples. Jim McKenna and Victor Hunter, Whitelers going overtime, splash their way towards the midday service as the battles rage and positions change throughout the National Rally field. Samuel Kelso is one of the chargers this morning and moves into 8th place. Kevin and Gavin Gallagher were 17th overnight and led Class 11, but are set to retire their MG. Well, in contrast, Daniel Conahan and Terence McGee have a great morning, climbing to 9th. Brian Brogan is on a mighty charge and is an amazing 7th after yesterday's big delay.
On the first stage, Plum, we stopped yesterday just on the second junction. Car switched off, died out, so we lost 3 minutes at that time. So we got on with good enough times after that. It was hard to get a wee bit of confidence. Then on the 5th stage, we broke a link arm. That put us back to about 80th or so in the field again. So we'll look for the spirit of the rally maybe at this stage.
Armagh's Declan Hall is in high spirits as he does some overtaking on the Grove Hall stage. But on the following Garton Lake test, Declan is about to show us just how you can get caught out in these conditions. They're both okay, and like Daniel McKenna, they'll rejoin the rally under Super Rally rules to enjoy the challenge and cheer up the drenched spectators. David Bogey is another Super Rally runner now with 4 wheels again on his 4-wheel drive Metro 6R4. Those guys are out of the National Rally race, but what a race it's becoming with the pride of their home county at stake as the Donegal duo battle it out up front.
We're only halfway through the Topaz Donegal International Rally and only 24 seconds separate the top modified drivers. Join us after the break for more modified mayhem. Welcome back to RPM. It's time to check out the final stages in the modified race on the Topaz Donegal International Rally. So sit back and enjoy.
Sadly, these final stages will not include the first run over Knockalla, so the crews now have just 2 runs over Fanad and 1 short Knockalla stage to complete day 2. Declan Boyle's lead is now just 24 seconds. Controlling these 300 horsepower machines in these conditions requires the utmost concentration. Manus Kelly continues to swap seconds with Declan, with the pressure increasing as the miles decrease.
Myself and Declan Boyle there are hot and heavy at it for first and second place at the minute. We were out there in the last loop and we took back 13 seconds, but like Declan took 10 seconds in the loop before that, and it's just been nip and tuck all day.
Martin McGee is watching from a distance and a further minute and a half behind, but he's very happy in 3rd. Also happy in 4th is Ed O'Callaghan, despite this donut on the famous Knockalla hairpin. Paul Barrett is pleased to end the day in 5th, and Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan have now charged right up to 6th. Back in the famous green machine, Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan have charged right back up to 7th.
Gary speed on medium right over the crest. Speed on 60, crossing hairpin left, hairpin right, but the bail don't cut.
As ever fast and extremely spectacular, this brave duo now headed to the final stage of the day, the shortened Knockalla test. There may be fewer miles, but the miles that remain are notorious ones. We're now on the fastest section and heading downhill at over 100 miles an hour towards a Bale chicane that has been included to slow us down.
100 yards. All right.
Bales, more like Skittles to Adrian. Samuel Kelso and Mac Walsh are in 8th place overall at the end of the second day, just 1 second in front of class rival Daniel Conahan. William McFadden is in 10th and looks to be in trouble. Up front, it may be just a two-horse race, but what a race between two Donegal drivers and approximately 600 horsepower.
Day 3, and at last the sunshine has penetrated the gloom. The roads are drying to give some much-needed grip for the six-stage shootout that will decide this modified Grand Prix. The grandstands are full in Glen Village. There's mighty pressure on Declan Boyle, the National Rally leader, but he snatches 2 seconds on the opening Glen and Portlake stages. The pressure escapes his front left tyre here in Atlantic Drive, and now he's lost the rally lead.
We had a bad run in Atlantic Drive there. We were thinking about 27 seconds up, and we had a puncture in Atlantic Drive where we cut a 5 left and hit a rock. So we're about 2 seconds down now on Manaskelly there.
So it's all come alive.
It's all come alive now. You see, it would have been nice going back out with a bit of a lead, but we're -2, and there's a big push now for the both of us. So we'll keep the pressure on.
It's exactly the break Manus needs. And now we're set for an even more dramatic finish between the two Donegal drivers.
It's going to be an unreal battle now. I just hope that both of us get back plumb, to be honest. I know that it could go either way, but as long as the two of us finish, I'll be very happy,
Oh, Martin. Mr. McGee nearly enters the old Glen Bar before opening time. Martin may not be in for a win, but he is putting in some very quick times today. He records fastest time on the Atlantic Drive stage to consolidate his third place. Ed O'Callaghan started the day 4th, but drops to 6th after the Portlake test.
I didn't think we'd be up here. We came up. I was invited up by Raymond Scott, who's my navigator. He's from Letterkenny. He invited me up for the weekend, and it was a challenge, so he said we'd take the challenge and come to Donegal, but we're enjoying it. We had a bit of an incident in the last stage. We hit a house sideways. We came to a junction and Dara reared and was ready to go, and the marshals let us off, and Dara came on after us, and I was just conscious he was behind me. I looked in the rear view mirror to see was he coming, never heard a note, and I hit a house sideways, but we're okay, we're still going, and we'll finish it.
Paul Barrett profits from Ed's misfortune, and he now commands 4th place. And Brian Brogan, who's been setting a string of top 3 stage times, is 5th. That Friday misfortune firing him up. Adrian Hetherington is always fired up. He takes us over the Glen stage.
Over the bumps. 40, passing right over the junction. 40, fast lane in the medium left, all good pace.
He's 7th now, and on his way to a good stage time here on Glen.
We fast medium left, tightens over bump. Don't cut. And 6 right opens. We 6 right over. 6 opens into fast medium right at the corner of half now.
It's been a great recovery after that jammed starter motor delay.
East left side, the opens long, 18 tight.
But the fight back is soon to be over. The back axle in the 2.5 Escort gives up the fight on the following Portlake stage.
Jump, left and middle, and fast right over bumps and 6 right. We fast right over bumps and 6 right. The diff. Pop shot, diff. Shot.
Despite a flapping bonnet on Atlantic Drive, another Donegal driver, Samuel Kelso, drives into 7th place and 2nd of the 2-litre runners. He's now pulled a 39-second gap over the pursuing Daniel Conahan, who's 8th. There's no time for William McFadden to look at the Atlantic on this famous scenic drive, but he's in 10th place in his rare G3 Escort. Robbie Peoples and Keith Stewart have climbed up a place into 9th this morning. Jeffrey Dolan slides into 11th. But poor Callum Duffy nearly slides right off the leaderboard after such a great start. Columba Hina, on the other hand, slides for the benefit of the crowd in Glen Village as we round up the National Rally. David and Chris Baird take the Class 10 honours. Joe Gallagher is the Class 16 winner, with Martin Howley winning Class 15 in his Evo. Harry McGill wins Class 9 with his high-revving Escort. And completing the top 20 are Alan Sweeney and James Gallagher. Callum and Ian Duffy finished 19th, but they were right on the pace this year in Donegal. Paul Karen and Andrew Brown are 18th and delighted with their second in Class 11 finish for 1600 cars. Oran Donnelly is 17th and the Class 12 winner with the 2-litre 8-valve engined Escort. Pete Green finishes 16th with his 16-valve car. Kevin and Siobhan Bradley are 15th and the Pride Class 11 victors. And Columba Heaney and Neddy, his roof mascot, are 14th. Patrick McHugh powers into a fine 13th. While JP Logue is 12th and first front-wheel drive car in the National Rally in his 2-litre engined Honda Civic. Jeffrey Dolan steers from the rear and ends the rally in 11th with a new name, William McFadden, pushing on all weekend to take 10th. Robbie Peoples, on his 25th Donegal rally, celebrates in style with a magnificent 9th place. Daniel Conahan is 8th and 3rd in Class 13, with Samuel Kelso 2nd and 7th overall. The winners being Ed O'Callaghan and Raymond Scott in 6th. Paul Barrett and John McElhinney complete the rally in 5th. Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan have the comeback drive of the weekend to claim 4th place.
For Mark McGee and Dennis O'Mahony, it's a fabulous 3rd place despite a final stage puncture. And Malice Kelly and Donald Barrett are pipped to the post by just 4.8 seconds after 3 amazing days of rallying.
Couldn't complain after a run like that. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed the weekend. I drove as hard as I could, my heart out. Like, and you know, at the end of the day, there was only a gear change in it at the end up. Like, you know.
Victory is Declan Boyle's despite more dramas.
We didn't think we'd come this far and be over the ramp, especially this morning there. You know, when we clipped the wheel, we thought that was it all over. We got back and going again, and then we were tipping away, and then the manifold, the exhaust came off of the manifold. So we thought then, no, this is another time, but it's just not for us. But we battled on, and we got there in the end, and we managed to take 4 out of them on the last loop, where we went into it only just a 1+. This is the big one for the modified men, and it was our home local thing, and we won plenty of 2-wheel drives, 4 or 5 or 6 of them, but to win at your own local international 3-day event is mighty unreal.
This has been one of the great modified contests of all time.
No doubt Declan and Brian will be partying tonight. Next, the Tarmac Rally Championship moves to the Todd's Leap Ulster International Rally, and RPM will be there. See you then.